I've been making stickers and selling them online for 10 years. Stickers have genuinely changed my life. It sounds dramatic, but it's true. When it comes to stickers, I might be a bit of a hoarder, but I prefer the word collector. I've held on to just about every sticker that's been given to me in the past decade. Stickers to me are just a great way to express yourself. They can represent who you are, what you like, what you believe in, what you support, or where you've been. And a real nice thing about stickers is that you can ship them just about anywhere in the world for the cost of an envelope and a stamp. But my obsession with stickers runs pretty deep. I was hand drawing and cutting my own crude stickers when I was a kid. Now I'd be like the Steve Jobs of the sticker world, if it wasn't so itchy. There's so many different types of stickers and I love them all. But in this video, I'll show you exactly how I make my favorite type of sticker and what I think makes a great design. Plus, I'll show you how to do it all without spending a fortune. Okay, quick disclaimer before the crafting Karens report me. This is a sticker, and what I'm actually teaching you today is how to make a decal. So why do I keep calling them stickers? Well, because no one's ever come up to me and said something like this.
Yes, why, hello, Matthew. May I acquire one of your finely handcrafted decals, my good sir?
Yeah, no. It usually goes down something like this.
Hey dude, can I have a sticker please? Oh, thank you.
Kids say sticker. Most people say sticker. And if that bothers you, then I hate you. So anyways, let's talk materials and everything you'll need. We'll start with a cutting mat or something to not ruin our table. Everything else that I recommend pictured here is as follows. I use a precision craft knife or hobby knife. This one's X-Acto brand and I do most of the job with this tool, but I also like to have a utility knife, a sharp pair of scissors, and a paper trimmer. I use a ruler or a straight edge to keep lines neat and tidy. A vinyl squeegee will help keep the stickers bonded well and bubble free. Now you could use whatever's in your wallet, but a proper rubber squeegee is flexible and it's much more forgiving on our materials. Pick your favorite vinyl. There's endless to choose from, but today I'll keep it simple and use white. I've tried a lot of vinyls and my favorite is Oracle 651. It's really easy to peel and it has this blue backing which comes in handy later. Transfer tape comes in a bunch of varieties, but my favorite is this transparent Nakusa R tape. You can get tape with grid lines or the more common papery finish here, but I prefer the clear stuff because it gives the cleanest, most professional result and has the perfect amount of tack. Good lighting is underrated and worth mentioning. You don't need to go crazy here, but a solid light source will really help us see all the subtle details later on in the process. The most precise and efficient way to make stickers is with a plotter. I'm using the Silhouette Cameo, which will run you a couple $100. But if you're serious about your crafting, I think it's easily worth the price. Or you could just skip the expense and grab some of this sticker paper. Print out your stickers on your regular color printer, and then cut them out by hand and boom. That's about the easiest sticker you can make. Or you could try this funky thing, the gyro cut. Imagine a pen and a craft knife had a baby and that baby's blade spins 360 degrees. If you got surgeon level steadiness and monk level patience, I'm sure you can make some pretty cool stuff. Now let's talk designs. When I was young, I was obsessed with cool logos. Fox Racing was always my favorite, but skateboarding logos had always caught my eye. Now, as an adult, I look back at these logos and I realize they all have a few things in common. They were simple, they worked as a single color, and they were easily recognizable. And so way back when I started making stickers, I redesigned my film company logo specifically so it would work well as a decal. It's all one piece, which means it holds up really well on whatever surface you stick it on. Simple is good. Here's an example. Can you spot the difference between these two designs? This version has 20 individual pieces, many of them very tiny. This slightly tweaked version has only 2 pieces, but it looks nearly identical. It's easier to make, and it'll last way longer on whatever you stick it on. And so when you're coming up with your design, consider avoiding small shapes, super thin lines, and tiny lettering. Dotted I's and random punctuation can cause a lot of headaches. And if you're using text, think about all those little holes you'll have to spend time plucking out. And lastly, make sure your design isn't ugly. And you should be good. Ideally, our final artwork is a vector file, which is a graphic that doesn't get jagged or blurry when you zoom in. It stays smooth at any size. Once you have your vector, you'll convert it into a DXF file, which is just a file that your plotter can read. It tells the machine where to move the blade. Now, if your brain is already melting, here's the easiest way I know how to summon your inner Picasso. Draw your masterpiece on paper, like some of my childhood classics here. Take a photo of it with the free Adobe Capture app, and let the app magically spit out a vector. It doesn't even have to be a drawing, you can take photos of whatever. Then you can toss that vector into your plotter software, hit trace, tidy up whatever looks wonky, and basically, you're good to go and ready to cut. For this part of the process, it's very difficult to cover every intricate detail in just one video. So go ahead and fire your questions into the comments. I'll also put some helpful resources in the description. But heads up, the last sticker video is almost at 4 million views, and I'm still answering questions from 2021. Now it's time for the best part, and let the machine do its magic. But before we get buck wild and start cutting away, we need to dial in our blade depth. It's pretty awesome how powerful these tiny knives are, but if you don't have it set up right, it'll make a mess. A perfect cut should peel smooth and easy. And here's what happens when the blade is too shallow. It just won't cut through. This is what it looks like when it's too deep. You get a shredded disaster. And so we use the Generate Test Shape button to cut this little triangle and square combo. Here are depths 1 through 5, for example. You want the shapes to peel cleanly with the triangle separating from the square, but without the blade slicing through the backing paper. You'll see right here, it just cuts way too deep. And so, for my material, a depth of 3 is perfect. You may need to run a few tests to find the perfect recipe, but this is crucial because you don't want to waste your precious vinyl. Once your numbers are dialed in, it's time to send your masterpiece to the machine and enjoy the thrilling experience of watching it go for about several minutes. Now it's time to weed. And not the kind I like to do in my garden, and not the fun kind either. This one's just vinyl and patience. First, we gently peel off the background without sacrificing any important bits. It takes practice, and you'll find that some designs weed better than others. When I'm weeding a whole batch of designs, I'll add horizontal relief cuts to break things up. The trade-off is that more cuts means more time. If you were to do them vertically as well, you'll be peeling forever. But if your design is super detailed, relief cuts are your best friend. They'll save you from ripping something and crying into your vinyl. Take your time with this and figure out a method that works with your design. Next is the truly tedious bit, weeding out all the tiny pieces. I've done this enough times that I can blaze through it with a simple craft knife. Now, once again, the hardcore crafters out there will want to lock me away for not using a proper weeding tool. Like a pick, a hook, a scraper, tweezer, spatula. I don't care what you use, if you can make it work, I won't judge your tool collection. With my knife at an angle, I lift the tiny pieces and pinch them between my fingers. This part gets messy, so choose a spot for your scraps or toss them directly into the bin. I personally like to flick them across the room so I can find them again later. And trust me, even when you think you've cleaned it all up, you'll find more bits for weeks to come. Now it's transfer tape time. My go-to move is to peel off a chunk and set it down sticky side up. Then I line my sheet up with an edge and drop it into place. I found this to be the best method to avoid bubbles, wrinkles, or any other problems. It works for me every time. Squeegee from the middle out, trim the edges, and congratulations, you've made a decal. A sticker. I usually give mine one more squeegee just to make sure that the vinyl has bonded with the transfer tape. If I'm doing a bunch of sheets at once, the routine doesn't change. Sticky side up, plop them on, and slice them apart. And as for multicolored decals, well, I haven't found any secret hack. For these stickers, I literally just peel off the white and put on a strip of red. You can also use a sticker to stick a sticker to your sticker. It's up to you how ambitious you want to get with color. And for anyone watching this who has zero plans to try this and is thinking, wow, this seems very time consuming. Yes. So that's why you visit mahalomydude.com and let us make the stickers for you. Any other questions, leave them in the comments. And if you don't have questions, leave a comment anyway so the algo thinks I'm popular.